You're listening to Only in Seattle.
Something I forgot to mention about you, you have like 13,000, close to 14,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I curated that as when I was in college, and I took some time off from social media when I got done and kind of went away for like a year and saw my follower count just slowly decrease because I wasn't posting the same amount.
Yeah.
But you really do have to put out a lot of content of yourself, a lot of content of your physique. And sometimes you don't want to show your physique, especially like for me, I went into an off season and like put on more body fat than I had wanted to. And I just kind of wanted to shy away, which happens to a lot of competitors. Also, it just takes a lot of work, a lot of vulnerability, a lot of putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to just do that all the time. I just kind of got fed up with taking pictures of myself. It really wasn't my thing. But I know that that's something that you have to do in order to get more followers. But I'm hoping that like one day people are really going to want to hear my recipes and my snack
your content.
hacks.
And we've kind of talked about that Instagram, and especially for fitness athletes, is they want to see a certain kind of content, but they don't really want to see deep content.
Yeah.
They will read it, but they won't respond to it. You don't know if they're getting it at all. It's kind of like us creating a lot of real estate content. People don't really engage with that, but they will consume it, and you just don't know. Whereas if you have, standard fitness shots, which are all over, if you've got a fitness feed like I do, people doing poses and doing all kinds of stuff, showing a lot of skin, that is what gets all the engagement.
And that's what's so sad is because you put up, you try and, at least this is my strategy, is I'll put up like one physique photo, then maybe a cooking photo, then maybe like a quote, and then a picture of my dog, and then a physique photo. I can see from the feedback of who's engaging with my content that the pictures that I'm posting of my physique get almost double the amount of interaction
yeah.
than the pictures of my dog or something funny, because it's still like my personal page. I used to have one that was solely a personal page, and I just abandoned it once I started my fitness Instagram, and then that's where all my followers came from, so I made that my main one. But I still wanted it to be my Instagram, so stuff that I thought was important to my life and what people might want to see that's also going on in my life outside of the gym to create this full person. I'm not just a gym Barbie. That's not all I stand for. In fact, it's very little of what I stand for, but it is a big part of my life and something that I really care about, but I want to try and balance it with this other stuff, and people just don't want to interact with that. I think it's also like when you're scrolling through a feed and you see a picture of like roasted chickpeas versus when you see a picture of some girl in a bikini on stage, you're probably going to be more awestruck by the girl in the bikini on stage than you are at just this picture of chickpeas. You're not going to go and look at the recipe or what the content is under that. You're just going to be like, blah, blah, I don't really care.
Don't care.
But the picture of the girl in the bikini, you're just like, okay, what's the caption here?
Right.
Like you might actually pay more attention.
And then engage with that.
And then engage with that,
Yeah.
So.
And that is just so standard in the fitness world.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, that's the way it is.
Yeah, and so I learned that. I built up my following, and then I kind of realized that that's kind of where it ended. And I just kind of walked away from social media for a while, lost a lot of followers, and now I've retained some. But I mean, I don't know how many of those are like active followers. There's probably a bunch of ghost followers in there, which just happen as you're building up a following. But
right. They followed you at one time, probably don't look at your content, whatever.
Yeah.
Still comes through.
Yeah.
But Yep. Social media. What are you going to do?
I know.
Unfortunately, it's a really important part of what you guys do in the fitness world. It's kind of where you put out you as a competitor.
Because people they see how you look and they're like, well, if she can do it, then maybe I can do it. So how did she transform her body? Especially if there's like those transformation photos of like maybe what you looked like before you started lifting and eating right, and then after.
Yep.
But a lot of it does come down to genetics and like where you were at before you started lifting. Like I already had a lot of muscle mass just from doing soccer, especially in my lower body and my abdomen. And then once I started bodybuilding, I started worrying about building up my lats, something that I'd never considered in high school.
And tell people where the lats are.
Right under your armpits.
Yep.
So it
gives you that winged
nice
look.
X frame. So people say, if you're going and doing your back workouts, people say, I'm trying to grow my wings. Yeah. So I can fly away.
Like Sylvester Stallone in Rambo, amazing lats, just huge wings.
Nice and thick.
Yeah. Or Arnold back in the golden era.
Yeah.
Just amazing for a guy that's 6'2", just huge lats, just.
And the goal of that is the wider your back looks, the smaller your waist looks. So people want to see that, hourglass for a woman or like the X frame for a guy.
Right.
But that's ultimately what people are seeking.
Right.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you'll know when our next video is out.